Before we get started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book, Education and Justice. If you have an African-American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African-American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. I talk a lot about civil rights and voting rights, fair housing rights, and other civil rights and equal rights issues because of their oversized impact on African American people. I mean, we came over here enslaved and chained, and we've had to fight very, very hard to obtain basic rights that other people take for granted, other groups. And so we have to protect those rights. We have to treasure and appreciate those rights. We have to fight for those rights. So with that said, I want to dedicate this week to voting rights. There's a lot going on with voting rights right now. And you could argue, of all the three tremendous pieces of legislation that Lyndon Johnson signed into law, voting rights are probably the most important because they give us the right to cast ballots for people that we want representing us. And you can tell how important voting rights are because of how hard white conservatives fight us regarding voting. They don't want us voting. Hey, family, do you believe in the work we're doing? Does our content speak to you? Do you appreciate our in-depth legal analysis and political commentary from an African-American perspective? Do you believe it matters to our community? Then don't just watch from the sidelines. Please click that membership button and become a member of the 2% Club today. That's right, we need just 2% of our subscribers to become channel members. For just $4.99 a month, that's less than 20 cents a day, you'll help us keep creating powerful content that defends our democracy, demands justice, and develops a strong African American community. But if you want more, at $9.99 a month, which is only 33 cents a day, you'll get access to exclusive members-only live streams, bonus content, and behind-the-scenes updates. And for just $14.99 a month, which is under 50 cents a day, our top-tier members get access to live Zone calls, strategy sessions, and a direct voice in shaping this movement. We're not just building a YouTube channel. Folks, we're building a movement based on righteousness and justice, just what our community needs in a time of disinformation and division. So if you believe in what we're doing, click the membership button and join now. Become a member of the 2% Club today. Let's build something powerful together. They don't want black people voting because they know that black people will vote against, by and large, against white supremacy. Because no one in this country, with the exception of Native Americans, understand how awful white supremacy is, the ideology, not that whites are supreme, but that they think they are, and they use that thinking to then try to enforce and impose their will on the rest of us. So we understand that. We got it. We know how important it is to resist white supremacy. And in my lifetime, and I'm 63 years old, in my lifetime, I've not seen an administration as anti-black as this administration, this second Trump administration. It was anti-black the first time around, but it has doubled down in its anti-blackness. So with that long introduction, I want to take this opportunity to recognize three very important young men who gave their lives so that we could have the right to vote. Today is the 61st year after they were murdered trying to register Black people to vote, trying to help us participate in the franchise. They gave their lives. 2 were white, 1 Black. Let's go now and look at these individuals. James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, and Michael Swerner. Those 3 young men, we owe a debt of gratitude. Let us please take a few seconds of silence. May their memories never be lost. And for those of us who understand the importance of voting, they never will be. Thank you to the families of these 3 young men. And you see how young they were. So they were murdered August 4th, 1964. They were a part of something that they called Freedom Summer, 1964. So let's read a little bit. This is a summary of a Stanford University article that provides some context. And here's what it says. In 1964, SNCC, that's the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, launched Freedom Summer in Mississippi to spotlight the violence Black citizens faced while trying to vote. The project brought 1,000 Northern white college students to help register voters, teach at Freedom schools, and support the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, MFDP. Tragedy struck when 3 civil rights workers, James Chaney, a Black Mississippian, and 2 white Northerners, Michael Swerner and Andrew Goodman, were murdered while investigating the burning of a church in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Their deaths intensified national attention on the violent repression of Black voting rights. I mean, just how special were these 3 young men? They could have been doing anything with their lives. Instead, they were fighting for us, African American people, to have the right to vote so that we can determine who represent us. And it's not lost on me that as I say this, as I share this with you, Texas Democrats in the state legislature here have left the state to prevent Texas Republicans, conservatives from redistricting the voting map here to give Trump possibly 5 extra seats in the U.S. Congress. So those fearless, courageous, principled Texas Democrats have left the state of Texas. And the governor here has threatened to take their seats from them, which I don't believe he has the legal authority to do, and to jail them. Problem with jailing them is the subpoena power here. We issue subpoenas all the time. And subpoenas here are only enforced within 150 miles. So with them being out of the state, well beyond 150 miles, they are not subject to Texas subpoena power. All right, let's finish reading this article. Despite the fear, volunteers continued, and while 17,000 Black Mississippians tried to register, only 1,600 applications were accepted. This exposed the need for federal intervention and contributed to the momentum for the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Now, I've been talking to you a few days now in a few videos about Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, because we see that it is under assault by none other than Clarence Thomas, the only African-American man, or at least melanated man, on the court. Go figure. The summer also created 41 freedom schools, where over 3,000 students were taught Black history and leadership, ensuring the movement's legacy. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. visited Mississippi to encourage Black voting, and the brutal murders of the 3 workers galvanized the nation's resolve. The MFDP's challenge at the 1964 Democratic National Convention, though unsuccessful, pushed forward the demand for Black political representation. This campaign helped lay the foundation for the Voting Rights Act, signed into law in 1965, which secured federal protections against racial discrimination in voting. So, 1 year after these young men gave their lives, 1 year later, Lyndon Johnson signed into law the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Now, I'm sure you have caught on that August 6th is 2 days from now. So we're actually looking at the 60th anniversary of the signing of the Voting Rights Act on Wednesday, just 2 days from now. So as you see, this week should be dedicated to voting rights for African Americans, because we got Clarence Thomas trying to gut Section 2. This is the 61st year anniversary of the murders of these 3 young men. We got Trump using the state of Texas to try and increase his lead in the House. And in 2 days, we will celebrate the 60th anniversary of the signing of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. So yes, this week is all about voting. And I'm not going to stop bringing this to your attention, because how many times have I said voting has consequences? And another thing I'm not going to let history overlook, and that is that despite all the anti-Blackness that Donald Trump put out on the campaign trail last year, year before that, and all the anti-Blackness that he showed the first time, still over 2 million Black people voted for him. And it is a huge part of the reason why he's in office and he is unleashing anti-Blackness all over the place. And we got 3.5 more years. So we got to fight. We must fight for the Voting Rights Act 65, because they've already done damage with sections 4 and 5. And now section 2 is on their radar screen, because if they can get rid of it, then they can do all the racial gerrymandering that they desire. We can't let that happen. So again, this entire week is dedicated to voting. As John Lewis, the late Representative John Lewis, said, voting is almost sacred. Almost sacred. We won't put it in the same category, say, as communion and those sorts of things, but it's almost sacred, especially for us African American people. Once again, thank you to those 3. Thank you to Dr. King, to John Lewis, to all those people from that generation who fought for us to have the right to vote. Let's not allow the descendants of those white supremacists who tried to stop our ancestors from voting, let's not allow them to take it from us. I am Reverend and Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, stay woke.